Hey there, it's Patmos and nice of you to join me for the second episode with Ostriv in Alpha 5. Here we go. We can see what we've built so far as I speed the game up a little bit. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 houses, a granary. We have a farm that can start working in the second year, which should be in, well, a little over half a month. We are building a trading post, which is quite good because that means that we could try and buy some goods that we need. We have the town hall already in queue. We're going to build a carpentry. So there are quite a few things that we are actually going to do, but they will all take time and we have to do them in the right order. Otherwise we'll have an issue. So we have to see how well we can do. We can't get the cart yet because we need the carpenter, of course. Alright, all the resources are delivered, so we'll get this. Now the problem we face first is that we have only 25 people, 9 men and women that can actually work. The rest are kids. So in order to get all the jobs done and make a trade, for instance, we're going to need to switch out a few people. That's very well doable. I mean, it's no issue. We can probably do that pretty easily, but we still have to do it. One of the things I'm going to do, by the way, is set this to buckwheat and potatoes, so that as soon as we have them, they can be stored there and sold. That should be something to work on right now. Alright, we have 6 fields. I'd like to add a few more later on, but for now these 6 will do, as these guys are building the trading post. Every now and then, please take your time and take a look at how the building process goes. I think it's so detailed, it's so nice, and I really enjoy that. Here's the trading post. We should get a manager in there and at least 1 worker, which should probably be men. So we get 2 men out of the building business. Why do I want these in? Well, as soon as we are going to be able to trade, I want to start trading. But then we need people in there, of course, so that's why we do it this way. We are going to need a lot of charcoal, and we right now don't think we have ladies to actually work there and fill this up, so that might be a problem. See, they're looking for gatherers to gather the firewood, but we have none available. Most of the people will soon be hired in the farm, of course, and also a lot of people are already working somewhere. So especially now, this is the point where we actually need to get people into town to fulfill more jobs. Could well be that quite soon we'll just stop building for a bit until we get what we need in terms of all the delivery jobs done and stuff like that. Actually, I'm going to stop that right now. We're going to use everybody in the farms as far as we can, and we're going to use them to make good use of these. Hopefully these can hire a few people. They should be able to. Yeah, see, they're now filling this one up, so that's good. At least that job is getting done. So we are getting extra charcoal that we can sell as soon as the trader comes in. First field is sown in. This will be a fallow. This one is sown in. Looks very good. We already started sowing this field too. Perfect. We need 1 guy in there too if we want to get the extra carts and stuff, so... Resource supply, yeah, that should be fine. So we have no builders right now, but at least we're getting this supplied. And we have another charcoal pit burning. They're now bringing in the firewood for the other one, so that's good. We'll soon should get our carpenter. And I think, yeah, the fields are almost sown in. You see, they only need a few more hands. They can do a lot of those jobs themselves, so no real need there. Now, one of the interesting things they added to the game is you can see how much or how good a field is producing. A field that does well as a base number of 1.0000. The higher this number is, so the closer it gets to 10, the better it is, the more yield you get out of it. This is the field that's sown in first, and you can see it has the slowest or the biggest number close to 1. The next field has a slightly lower number, the third field even lower, and the last field, which is this one, quite a bit lower actually. So you can now see which fields are sown in when. So this was the order. And we should get the best yield out of this field and the worst yield out of this field. So this should give you some insight into how quickly those jobs go. Alright, we now have 2 charcoal pits burning. That's good. Then they can fill this one up even further. I think we have a carpenter now. Yes. So we should try and add the rest of the men into the building queue. Hopefully we have some men left. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. Yeah, at least one. So at least one guy will start to do a building job. We'll just have to get some wood and thatch. And they can build a whole new house. And we have our first messenger. Alright, let's buy some honey. Deal. As soon as the honey comes in, we can start to sell it in our market. And that should provide us with the food that we need. So I'm going to set up honey in here. And we'll store 1,000. Now, as soon as that comes in, we have food to spare and we can try to get new families in, which is for now very important because those are the new laborers that we get to fulfill all the jobs. You can see already we have only 2 people in the forestry, 1 in the smithy, 1 in the carpenter. I was looking to get some iron, but we can't there. There's not enough people in the thatchery, so basically we just need a lot more hands to get all these basic jobs done. And of course we still need to expand a lot of industries, get clothing, get leather, get animals and things like that. So every hand that we can get will be much needed. Let's see how many. Yeah, we have 2 builders now. I'm gonna get 1 out. I want 1 extra in here because right now he's still collecting the charcoal. But we also need to empty any wagons that come in. So that might be an issue. I don't know where the wagon comes from. We can watch though. Let's see. Ah, it's almost there. So where will the wagon come from? I think there it comes. Alright, so from the top here we can see the wagon arriving. And once it reaches this spot, we should be able to get it emptied. Then the market lady can get to work. And we should have our first food for sale. Really can't wait for it. Yeah, there it is. And the market lady comes in. Let's see. Everything in the green now. Very good. We have 2 houses available, so we can get 2 new families. We'll be overjoyed with that. And with the 3rd house done, we have 3 houses available. That should mean at least 3 ladies and 3 men to do extra jobs around town. That should be helpful. We have a well here. We have a well here. I do want another one soon. A new family is settling in town. Ah, this is a good family. Maria won't yet be able to work, but her parents will. So that is something. And we have a lady looking for a job, so we'll put her in the thatchery. And I'm also going to open a vacancy in the granary. So now as soon as somebody extra comes in, she can work in the granary and collect all the goods from the farms and things like that. I guess we can get this guy out because right now we're not trading anything. Let's put him into the building queue again. Let's get extra builders. We do have the carpenter that can do preemptive repairs. Now it's also time to start working on some metal parts because we need those for the carts, of course. Otherwise we can't build any new carts. And I do want a few extra carts. Actually, I want another cart shed here as well. Just to have carts available on both sides of town that we can use. These can be used for the clay, for the thatch, and of course for transporting farm goods. So this would be a good spot for the cart shed. Alrighty. Well, it appears we have no houses available, so another family came in too. We're getting there. Now this building might be quite tough to get, but we'll do it. Mirefa again. Well, I'm not going to get anything else now. And we're not sure as not going to sell anything. because we don't have money to sell anything. Alright, look at this town hall. It looks nice. But, well... I do want to get rid of the fence because I don't think it's placed that neatly. I think we need to place it a bit more wide. Like this. Yeah, I think this looks better. And what I want to do now is get the big arch up here in front of the town hall. Because I think that's the way it should be. Have a big arch there to connect town hall, or to have an entrance to the town hall, because this is of course a very important special building. I also think we should do some decorations around it already. Let's build 2 very big trees. Guess we should also decorate it with a few lilac bushes around it, just for the nice coloring. People should be able to come here and visit. Should they be able to sit inside? That's the question. I think so. We'll start right here now. Alright, those are the benches. Then we need to, I don't know, get birch trees, I guess. Just to get some shade in here. Alright. Well, this should be the town hall. Not everything is straight, of course. But it'll be fine for now. We can see all the honey is now in the granary. That should be good. And not too long from now, we should get into the ripening season, and then the harvest will start. No housing available, no jobs available. Well, we can make jobs available. No problem there. Yes. We could also get an extra lady in the granary. That should make some jobs available. Alright. Yeah, we're really going to need some extra village housing. 2 extra there. Of course, we're gonna get the ledge here, so, or the slope, or whatever it's called. That might be interesting and tough at the same time. So we'll have to see how we deal with it. Another thing we have to deal with is food variety. Now, luckily with the honey, we add 3 different types of food, mainly buckwheat, potatoes, and honey, so that should be sufficient. But we need to think ahead and get more food variety. And I think a way to do that is produce a few orchards. Now, the interesting thing is, if we place them right here, I think we would be off very good. Too long. Okay, we're not going to make them too long, of course. Try and find a sweet spot so that it's as big as possible. Right there. Build the house right here. There it is. So you just hit the F1 button, then you can edit it, and then you hit the enter key, and then they can build an orchard. And as soon as that's done, they can start to plant the trees in here. Then it will take another 2 years before it gets into effect, but then we get apples. And actually, what I would like to do is try and get another one. So we hit the F1 key. Try and make it as big as possible. But I really, they will have to remove quite a few trees for this. But we'll have a very, very big orchard there. 2 at least. And I would very much like that. Get a lot of fruit out of that. So let's do that. That will give us food variety. Keep them healthy with the fruits and all the vitamins in there and stuff. So that should be good. So food-wise, we should be fine for a bit. I guess next up could also be trying to get some pieces of clothing to make everybody really happy. Yeah, no housing available. So all we need now is to invest in housing. We also have the town hall. Now I'm going to talk a bit about the town hall. Because usually we just went to the treasury and we lowered the wages so far that we would get a very small economy. Now they did change that out a bit. So it's not feasible to lower this too much because people just don't want to do a job anymore. Now I have not calculated the ideal numbers yet, but there is of course a sweet spot. I'm still not sure where it is, but I'm going to lower this anyway. Maybe to something like this. And all we have to do now is see whether they still want to work. If they don't want to work anymore, we'll have to raise the price, the monthly wages a bit. But if they still want to work, we can maybe lower it even further. So we'll just get into this, see how this works now. For instance, once we run out of charcoal, it could well be that we need extra charcoal. And we'll see if people can be hired as laborers. We have nobody available, so that's an issue right now. But it could well be that you can see right now, in the farm, they are able to hire a laborer. Radoslava is now hired as a laborer. So we did not lower the wages too much. She's still hired. But it will still help us to maintain a bit of money. But we need to find a way. Let's buy some honey so that we have the food variety. We need to find something to sell soon in order to make sure that we actually make money. Because otherwise, in the end, we'll be losing money. Now, sunflower, lime, dried fish, all of these are not possible. We could sell some buckwheat once we get a good harvest. Also, salt could be very interesting, or flax, things like that. So that's what we're going to look for if we can get to those products anytime soon. But right now, there's not a lot that we can actually sell. Luckily, I hope that the messenger from Derkachi will come, because if we can sell a chunk of charcoal, that will really help. That's why I already placed that in there. But we'll have to see if that's possible. Right now we have one lady available and she's helping out in the harvest already. Let's get 2 people out of here. See if they get added here. If they are, then that would be very nice, because then harvest would be speeded up. And nothing will go to waste during the winter. Yep, 2 of them are hired now. And there's the 3rd, so this works. We get more. Village house done, so a new family can come in. Immediately starting to work on the next house. That's a good thing. We can also see that they already chopped 2 trees from the orchard area. Probably going to take quite a bit longer to actually get all of that, but that's okay. Resource supply. I think we should make this 750 so that they can get everything out of here and we can get rid of this one. Then we can build more houses here. That could be quite nice, actually. I would like that. New family came in. 2 parents and their kids. Yep, this one is now completely gone. Perfect. That will give us the option to build a few more houses here without too much issue. Let's leave some space for another like main street like area. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yeah, there's uneven terrain here. What if we... Oops, wrong button. What if we rotated a bit? Place occupied. Ah, we rotated a bit. We can place it like that. Interesting. Alright, this area needs a well. Question is where to place it. Well, well, we can place the well right here. That's done. Well, there's a whole new set of housing. I guess we should move this one backwards because they can't do it anyway unless the trees are gone. So let's just keep it in the queue there. We did make the economy smaller, but maybe not small enough. Treasury. What if we lower this to 1? Will they still be hired? I'm not sure. We'll see. Let's see. Messenger from Derkachi. Very good. Let's sell some charcoal. That will give us quite a good amount of money. So that's a deal. But we also need to buy iron. We'll buy 500 to make sure that we can keep building nails. And, oh, if we get apples, we can sell them some apples too. So that's working out. But, yeah, I think we need to start thinking ahead towards more animals. Or, well, at least some animals, not more. We don't have that many yet, but we'll see. Because maybe if we build a cow shed, we can get to... I think we should do that right here, by the way. Not too close to the... Oh, wow. Uneven terrain. Well, I am going to build a cow shed somewhere. And we'll build one right here. Of course, with that, we need hay dryers. Luckily, we can build those on the slopes. We'll build 4. Then we also need a hay barracks to store all the hay, but we can put that, hopefully, somewhere here then. Yeah, right here. There's a hay barracks coming. Oh, now it says uneven terrain again. I just hoped it wasn't going to say that, but it does. This is actually quite a hard map, because we have to deal with all these issues. Is this all uneven terrain, or is there a spot? We can just build it here next to the building there. Then we need a water source. Now we can build a platform here. That should be fine. I think the cows can use that water. That should be okay. And I think we should get the cow shed and the hay barracks and the water thing earlier. So as soon as we get the messenger from Derkachi again, we can start to get a few cows. Not too many, because we need the money, of course. But by doing so, we will get the leather and stuff eventually that we are going to need for the production of clothing. Alright, let's sell some extra charcoal if we can. Still very much on the way, all those carts, so that's going to take some time. But we made a bit of money out of it, so that's good. Another village house coming up. What's this? The thatchery is out. No carts. We have not set it to build any carts. Now it will, so now this one should start to build a few carts. I think we have a few ladies to spare now. Yep. Okay. Well, 2 in here is fine. 1 market stall will do the trick for now. But we might need another one later. A new family settling in your town. Very good. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build 2 extra charcoal piles. Quite simply, because we will need them in the end. We're also going to need some warehouses to actually store some goods. We'll build 2 here next to each other. 1 for just firewood. Maybe 1 for some smithy stuff. And once we're going to go for some clothing, we're going to work on that too. Now, I should not make the queue too long, I know. Sometimes people complain that they can't see what's actually in here while they watch this video, and that's a genuine complaint. So I will try not to completely fill up the building queue all the time, but sometimes I do. I can't promise it, sorry. Let's add 2 people here for all the trades, so that at least all the carts get their stuff. What's this? It's probably waiting for its charcoal. So it should be filled up quickly. Yep, there it is. Are they now both really filled up? 600 and something and 1,000. Yes, okay. And we got the money for it, so that's really good. Here's another wagon with another 1,000 charcoal, and we get some money for it. So luckily it's possible to run a positive balance. Let's try and keep that up. I think we have an issue here. I did forget to plant the trees, but I hope they can still plant the trees in winter. I'm not sure though. We'll have to see that. There she comes, I think. Will she be planting the trees in winter time? Yes, okay, very good, very good. So at least all the trees get planted. I'll add a few more. Now, of course, don't forget, after the orchard is fully planted, it will take 2 years before you can start to get the first fruits. So putting in 5 for now just to help plant the trees quickly is good. But after that, we just need to remain 1, I think. Because then we'll maintain the trees, but that's all. That's no more needed. Alright, let's get another 500 iron so that we have some to spare. Nothing else here that we want. There is also not much to sell, I think. Maybe some potatoes, but I don't think we have that many yet. No, we have only 2,000 and we need to last until the next harvest, so that's not for now. We get the animals here. We can build more hopefully next to it. It's quite a tight map though. There's not a lot of space. There's a big ledge here, so maybe I'm going to pause for a second or play at speed 2. Let's try and build a few fields here for the farms and then build a farm somewhere that we can use. Because I think if we're going to try and build housing, we can see that this is all uneven terrain, so that's not too easy to use for housing. So if we can build a few farm fields there, that could really help out. Let's see, how long is this? Too long. Okay, so that's good. Let's go from here. Let's see. This is about 50 long, so if we start here, and we'll do it something like this. Here we should have our first field. Yes, very good. Alright, second one. We'll attach to it, and then the next one we'll leave an opening with. This is going to be interesting. That's 2. What happens if we build one on this side as well? So that they can still walk between them. But we just make the most of this ledge. Now, of course, I make not these big fields, I make these smaller fields. Because as soon as one is sown in, the goods will start to grow. And you get a bigger yield out of that short field. And if you build 3 very big fields, which you can do actually, then the problem is that before one field is sown in, it just takes a lot longer time and it will grow a slightly worse yield because it just takes so much longer to sow it in that the growth time is a lot shorter. That's why I do it like this. I make 8, usually I only have 6 on this farm, but usually I make 8 small fields. So that as soon as one field is done, they can get the good yield out of it and it can start to grow, and then they go on to the next field. And by the time all fields are sown in, it takes roughly the same time as just sowing in 3 big fields. But a few of my fields are already growing then, while a few fields from others are not yet growing. Let's move this up because I want that tree out. I really want these fields up. And now, of course, I can already hear people think, but you are now just building fields for the farm that you already have, and these fields are quite far away. And that's very true. That's why we're going to do the next step right now. We're going to build a farm next to these fields. And I guess we should just build it somewhere here, if we can, of course. Let's move the screen a bit so we can see what we're doing. All right, let's build the farm right there. Now it's pretty close to the fields. They can get to all the fields quickly. We can get a lot of food out of this and hopefully a few products that we can sell on the market to make a profit. And as soon as this farm is done, which I want to try and get done before the end of the winter, so let's switch to it right now. I think these guys are going to chop the tree. That's good. Once this farm is done, we can start to work it straight away. So let's get back to speed 3. We'll wait until this one is done, and once it's done, we'll get setting it up. We have 8 builders now, or 7, so that's good. 7 builders. They should manage to build this by the end of February, I hope. No guarantees, of course, we'll have to see, but I think they'll get quite far. Well, they're still bringing most of the goods in, so no building yet. And 1 tree left to be removed, which is probably just that log, and then it's done. Yep, field's done. Alright, very good. I think we can already set these fields up now. All that we have to do is not activate them yet until the other farm is done. And then we link them to it. All right, let's see. Because here we have a message from Daikachi. Let's sell some more charcoal. And that should be it. We have plenty of iron now, so we don't need to buy that. The cow shed won't be fully serviceable yet, so I'm not going to be tempted to get any cows. And we should think about what to build on all these farm fields. Let's see, 8 fields. Let's start here. I think what we can do for a good start is to start with some wheat and put hemp on it, and then a fallow field. Then we'll do the same here on this one, and the same here. And I think we're going to do that with 6 fields, so that we produce a lot of wheat, which we can turn into flour with the mill. And we are producing a lot of hemp for clothing. And then we'll use the last 2 fields for some sunflowers. And together with sunflowers, we can get some extra buckwheat. That should work out. So let's do that. This will be a fallow and some buckwheat. And this way, we get a little bit extra buckwheat. We get some sunflowers that we can turn into sunflower oil and sell at the market. And we'll get hemp for clothing and wheat that we can be changing into flour with the mill. Now, of course, we need to build a mill for it, so let's already place one right here. I'll have to remove a few trees, but that should be not too hard. I'm just really hoping that in the next month we can build this farm. Now, almost all the goods are delivered, and I guess as soon as 7 big strong guys start to build, that should not be too hard to finish this farm, but so far they're all just bringing the goods and not really building it yet. So come on. Are we out of thatch or? No, not completely. There they are. Finally, construction is starting. Here we come. Hopefully this will work out. Ah, yeah, this should be good. Come on. Only 2 building now. Number 3 is there. I guess if 2 more come in, buildings should go even faster. Oh, 1 already left. There's 4 now. Yeah, that's speeding things up. But of course, sometime they get tired, they'll go home. Ah, they're with 5 now. Very good. 4. 1 already left again. 3. And 1 is already back, so that's a good rotating shift. There's 3 all the time, apparently. So that worked out. All the thatch roofs coming in. Oh, there's 1 now. He's just doing the roofs by himself. Oh, no, there are 2. 3 now. All right, there we are. Very good. All right, let's get people in here. A manager. And some workers. Of course, if we can tell them to only be ladies, that would be good. I just wonder if we have a smart enough lady available. Right, let's slow down because I need to find a lady with an education. Because that can be the manager. And that's what we're going to need. But these all don't have an education. So we'll have to go over all the ladies in town. And they all don't have an education so far. And that's not the way we want it. I guess the only one with an education is manager in this farm, or somebody in here should have an education. It's already almost the end of the month, so I really want to find one else with an education, but there are none. Okay, interesting. And we don't have any ladies available at this point. Alright, let's pause. I'm going to switch these over now anyway. They are completely set up. It's just that we need a lot of ladies in here. Otherwise, we'll have a problem. Alright, these are all linked to the right farm now. We can just activate them by hitting this little button. It's also set to plowing, but we don't have plows, so that ain't gonna work. And all we need to do now is wait for a few ladies to come in. I'll get a few out of here. And even 1 out of here, because I want a few ladies in there. I don't think this one has a lot to do. but we'll have none available with an education. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to also hire men. I'm going to try and find a guy with an education. Well, here we have a guy with an education, so you go out here. And you be the manager here. I hope it works. That would be helpful. He should not be hired anywhere else then, otherwise we still have a problem. So far, he did not get into that farm. Ah, this guy has an education too. You get out of here. Yeah, this is the guy with the education. He should be getting out here too. They just don't need to get into a job now where I don't want them. They need to be getting a job in here as a manager. There we are, finally. Alright, so now this really starts to work. Let's get an extra smithy again. Let's get a carpenter. Alright. Another house is done, so another family can come in. Hopefully we'll get all jobs fulfilled. But it's also been like 35 minutes. And, well, we expanded our town a bit. Especially with farmland and the trading post and the town hall. Everybody's still working, so that's still going well. And I guess we now need to focus on more housing. And on things like clothing. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I enjoyed creating it, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and a big help for me. And then, of course, I hope to see you in a brand new video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.